Hello, my name is Anisha Satar, and today I will be talking about the observation and my findings that I have found about the streets of London. Firstly, I will be talking about the Bond Street. When I was walking there, I saw that some people are alone. They were walking alone by themselves, just talking on their phone, and I also saw that some people were walking with partners, holding hand. They were holding hands and they were being friendly and being like loving each other. And I also saw that people from shops were standing outside being friendly, talking to them, offering them to try a food so they can make business for their so they can make business for their shop. And I also saw that people were running and rushing because they wanted to get to work quickly, or I think it was because the bus was going to go and they just finished work. And another thing that I found was that people were looking lost. They didn't know what, because it was such a big street, they didn't know where to go. And the way they were behaving were very formally, but some people also behaved informally. They dressed formally, and some people were dressed formally and some people were dressed informally as well. I saw a group of teenagers showing good manners, polite manners, and they were greeting each other nicely, and they were having a conversation and giving out verbal signals such as talking nicely, talking loudly, and they're also doing hands like gestures of smiling, laughing. And when I was walking through the Bond Street, I went into a coffee shop called Costa. And within there, I saw that people were sitting alone, doing the work, interested, and they were very interested. But in particular, I saw two people sitting together, interacting with each other through hugging and talking, and they were looking at each other, and loving each other. And I also saw that people were on their laptops interacting, doing their work, doing some kind of work, and they're also engrossed in their phone while eating. Some people were showing confused behavior of what to order and what's nice and what's not. Everybody was acting formally and professionally, but some were they were acting informally with their friends, and they looked tense. In particular, I saw that a couple were sitting on a table, cooperating and working together on the laptop, sharing a coffee, and they were showing non-verbal signs like smiling and eye contact. And then I went into Selfridges, and when I went to Selfridges, I saw that there was a shopkeeper who looked bored and lost. Because he was just observing the customers. And I also saw that there were people interacting through using hand gestures and hugging and smiling. And I also saw that people were showing people around. So, like the shopkeeper was showing other people around and showing them nice dresses and interacting with them. And they were smiling and they were talking to each other and showing different facial expressions like smiling and laughing. But some people did look confused because they didn't know what to buy. They tried to. Some people were bored and tired, so they sat down on the phone on one of the chairs. And then I went on to observing Regent Street. And when I went to Regent Street, I saw that there were people walking, they had arms around each other, they were talking, they were smiling, but some were walking alone on their phone, just walking away. And some people were walking and interacting and showing friendly behavior such as hugging, holding hands. But some people were walking alone but rushing around. And I also saw that some people were interacting on their phone and not looking up to see where they're going. Some people were excited and they were laughing. As I seen a group of teenagers, they were excited and laughing to each other because they were having fun. And some people were interacting through gestures. But what else I saw was that people were tired and they wanted to sit and just go on their phone for a little while. And I also saw that people were waiting for the bus to come. What else I saw was there was a person from the government. They were cleaning up the floor because had rubbish on the floor. This was very helpful of them, and they were looking through some people are looking through the windows and being inquisitive of what to buy and what there is in that shop. They were giving very good eye contact, and they were looking at each other and talking to each other, and they looked very interested. They were showing professional behavior and they were hugging each other. What I saw in particular in this was that the shop assistants were working as a team, and they were serving customers, and they were cooperating with them and exchanging non-verbal signs such as smiling and laughing and interacting with each other. And another coffee shop that I saw in Regent Street and inside there, I saw that people were friendly, professional, they were learning through the laptop, and they were interacting with each other through eye contact, and they were very happy. But in particular, I saw that a group of students were studying and having conversation about the topic, teaching each other, comparing and working as a team. They were saying things like, within the subjects, we will do this, we will do that. From my observation, I saw that within these places, things that were not acceptable were fighting within a social group, arguing or treating people in the wrong way. And I saw that these social norms were not followed. If these social norms were not followed, then many things would have happened. Example, if their dress code wasn't matched, then people can be viewing other people in a different way. They may laugh at you, have low self-esteem, or they won't feel belonged, and they will feel outcast. So such as if everybody is dressed as jeans and top and another person is dressed all trampy, then they're not nice, then people won't like them and they will segregate them. I saw that queuing up at Costa, if I was in the queue and I pushed in the queue, then that would go against my social norm, and this may lead me to being criticized or being insulted by somebody else or pushed around, and it might even turn into a fight. And if I break the social norms, then formal and informal consequences can happen, such as people responding to me negatively and being stared at and stand up. How does it make you feel in these places? Do you feel as though you fit in? Why do you feel this? Well, when I was walking into the streets of London, it made me feel welcome, happy, confident, and belonged and enthusiastic. I felt as I fit into these places as I adhere the social norms such as appropriate dressing, showing non-verbal signs, communicating with each other, and polite shopping. Polite shop assistants that are following the shop's social norms. And I also saw that people, customers, and within the shop are all polite and nice. In the mall, I saw that the behavior and how they were interacting. They were feeling excited as a child was in the Disney store and he wanted one of the toys and he was very amused by it. Some people were inquisitive, asking their mom, what is this? How does this work? And I saw that some moms were getting very angry because the child was troubling them. I also saw that some people were behaving in a moral and informal way. Two women were confused where places are, but I also saw that moms were very loving to the child. They were hugging, they were kissing them. Now we will move on to introducing the theory and concept that I'm going to use within my assignment. First theory that will be linked to my finding is the Bourdieu theory of habitus. Within this, I saw that habitus can be recognized as the principle and attitudes that have came from our cultural history that generally stay with us throughout the whole time in different ways. It says that each class has different type of habitus that can be defined in different ways through values and beliefs. And Bourdieu said that we have social structures that are internalized and embodied that enables us to be aware and put a limit on what we can do and what we can't. This means that we are not aware of the limits, so we cannot alter them now or re-socialize them or how re-socialization can be altered. He also said that it is a gradual change as we are not who are the numbers of the culture that can change our habits and views. Within this society, habitus can influence many subgroups and subcultures. Example, they can have different classes from the same group, but they have different habitus to them. So habitus was showed in the home, and this was called the primary socialization process. And it initially starts from parents and the habits that they have put into the child's habits. And through this, we develop thoughts, behaviors, which can limit us from what we do. In sociology of education, habitus can be understood by the values and disposition that we get from our cultural history that actually stay with us across the context. Well, Bourdieu said that in education there are different social class and they gain education differently. For some people it's easy and for other people it's very difficult, and mainly through working class they find it very difficult. But working class cannot easily gain education due to the habitus being limited and stop being involved in the desire of education, which is why some people do not achieve what they want in their education, and some people do. Within this concept, it says that habitus is a part of us, so it can change us at any time. Ray et al. Stated that habitus can be adapted by us interacting with the outside world, even if it happens at an early age. It can change our habitus by a change in one's condition. Powell 2003 stated that habitus clash conflicts can be caused by putting a new habitus on the current one, and this can lead them feeling left out. This clash appears because it reflects and expresses one habitus by the way of living and the norms and the characteristics. Two concepts explained of human behavior is the structure and the agency, and everyone has the right to have their options, but the society can influence their decision. So firstly, Broged 2013 refers to the structure of social class, sex, race, and marriage. So agency is the thing that is concerned with personal and psychological structure, and it is the way people relate to their social roles and relate to the person willing to volunteer. Boggy claims that each of this is individual and that it can interconnect with each other. He did a research and he found that working class go to university as they did. He did a research and he saw that working class do not go to university as they don't belong there, but their habitus did not much. did not match. And he shows that through field habitat clash theory, whereas middle and he shows this through the middle field habitat clash theory, whereas the middle class, they have the benefit as they do belong in the university and their habitats match there, and therefore they can gain a good education and persuade in life. Now, I will be talking about the Bernstein theory. And within this theory, he said that people communicate differently in different classes. First, he said that there was a restricted speech, and also there was a elaborated code. And within the research restricted code, he said that people use this is used by working class and married couples, and this restricted speech involves unfinished sentences, more adjective, adverbs, and less use of potential language, as the people who have in conversations can understand each other. Whereas elaborative code is used by the upper class people and is clearly put appropriate verbs, and it also gets the meaning across by using more words so the person can understand. The two class meaning is to be universal and linked to a certain home. This theory is used in education by demonstrating the different educational achievement of various classes. Bernstein uses the language coding method, in which formal education takes place. Elaborated code is where formal education takes place and it affects the working class. And limited codes reduce the possibility of working class to acquire skill required by educational methods. Bernstein did not reject the discourse of working class as an ineffective or inferior way. However, he did show the difficulties of working class education. He said that elaborative code is necessary to critically analyze and inquire and get the meaning of things logically and rationally. And he explains that the low achievement because there is a low achievement because working class doesn't have elaborative code. And this is linked to our field trip and the above theories to education, is how we demonstrate social theories of education and influence them and develop them in our development structure. My findings are linked to the theory of habitats, as they were a group of people who had different habitats according to the norms and values by their parents as they are interacting with the outside world. Bernstein's theory links to my finding, as people I observed use various languages, and some more restricted code and some more elaborative code, and this was according to the class they are, and also if they were married. How these relate to social class inequity, and education. Within my finding, I saw that some people were married and some people are friends, in which they use slang and code words. How these relate to social class inequity of education. My social theories of education influence and develops education structures and practice by belonging to a certain class, as working class did not have the capability to do high education due to their status, whereas the upper class did have that because they had the funds for it. Another way that according to Bernstein's theory, class can get better meaning of things. For example, upper class will have the ability to understand different meanings, whereas the working class will not be as more capable as them. And these relate to the social class and inequity of education. Thank you for listening to my findings, and I hope you enjoy my enjoy what I have found during my findings, and I will be including my paper of my findings and some pictures. Thank you.